My fellow St. Lucians, lend me your ears. I write not to bury Corona, but to keep you alive. Dear life is too precious a gift to waste. Life is your right, Bob Marley. You have a right to be here, and that right is your personal property. Your right is your property. You have a right to your property and property in your right. Therefore, guard well your God-given rights and personal property. Mortal man did not give you that right. Neither can mortal man take it away from you. You have a primal right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is called your human right, and it must be protected, guarded, and defended from all interferences. I write not to kill Corona, for this is a crime, but to end the shutdown. To be denied the free exercise of your unalienable right to freedom of movement in pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness is morally wrong and can by no means be legally justifiable. Likewise, to be denied the right to freedom of assembly is morally wrong and can by no means be legally binding. To impose such restrictions and deny the free exercise thereof is a violation of the free conscience and soul liberty of every son and daughter of this Helen of the West, and must be revoked and repented of. I write not to assassinate COVID, but to help my people. Common sense should instruct us, when scientific data is insufficient, that the total cost and long-term effects of a 7-day nationwide shutdown will be worst in comparison to what Corona may unleash upon us individually and collectively as a nation. The damage, if not irreparable, will leave regrettable scars which no healing balm or potion can fix. I write not to belittle Corona, but to caution my people. We are harnessing fear and succumbing to it, and by so doing will produce a generation of dependence. A free market built on the economic principle of free enterprise cannot be driven by fear. In this moment of crisis, government must muster the courage to keep hands off the free market. A free market is capable of self-regulation. At this critical juncture, Adam Smith's invisible hand should instruct our economic policy. To shut down the national economy is overregulation. This will breed unimaginable consequences which we are ill-prepared to face. I write not to murder COVID and her enemies, but to enlighten my people. Notwithstanding the fact that desperate times call for desperate measures, but reminiscing on the life and work of our forefathers and forerunners and how they weathered the storms of life, we glean that crisis could also bring out the best in us. It is an ideal opportunity to unleash latent talent, dormant skills, and soar on new heights of creativity, innovation, improvisation, exploration, and discovery to change the dynamics and paradigms that threaten our existence. This is a gifted opportunity to take stock and recalibrate. As the Honorable George Odlum reminded us, Mr. President, we are an island people and with limited resources. A 7-day nationwide shutdown will kill the spirit and courage of our people. This will weaken our resolve to be truly independent, self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and self-reliant. Lucians, as I know my people well, are resilient people. They stick to the fight. They get things done. They make things happen. They have fallen in the past, but have always emerged stronger and built such a beautiful country, the envy of many. I write not to downplay COVID, but to remind my people. Our beloved Sir Arthur Lewis taught us the answer to poverty is not money, but education. This economic shutdown will only make our people poorer than they already are. A great many of our people are living paycheck to paycheck and cannot afford health care. Now that the income stream is cut off, Where will money come from to take care of emerging and lingering health challenges? For how long can government support them with mega pittance? Again, nonsense. Common sense should instruct us that the poorer the country, the less healthy its citizens might be. So, what we hope to escape from corona, poverty may unleash upon us viruses, bacteria, and other ills, the likes of which we have never imagined. I write not to ridicule corona, for I have great respect for her, but to support my people in this time of national crisis. A 7-day nationwide shutdown will destroy the self-worth and dignity of our people. What if after 7 days we fail to reach the benchmarks that we anticipate? Will we continue to shut down? This will set a bad precedent and will make it too easy to shut down the country at will in the future. We will be shutting down for every simple problem and will not be able to control the trend. I ask you, fellow Lucians, when was the last time the entire country was shut down? Our medical experts have already indicated that our resources are limited to take care of this pandemic. World-renowned scientists, doctors, and healthcare professionals tell us this virus is new. They do not have the answers. There is no vaccine or cure. They do not fully understand this virus. In light of such uncertainty, is it best practice to shut our people up? I say no. This is bad policy. Set our people free that they may go to the mountains, to the forests, in the bush, and search for a cure to heal and safeguard themselves and their loved ones from this foreign intruder. They stand a better chance of survival searching the forests than being locked up at home, waiting on government to experiment on them like guinea pigs with an antidote they admit is not a cure. This is what our forefathers did. They knew very well that the leaves are for the healing of the nation. Set our people free, that they may gather the leaves and roots and barks and make tea for their healing, and drink freely from the streams and rivers, and gather the native fruits and nuts which nature has provided in abundance. It is my opinion that the cure for corona is deep within each of us. It is called our immune system. The experts know that very well. They broadcast it with noise so nobody hears them. In this time of national crisis, let us educate our people and not medicate them with drugs and vaccines which we have no idea can work. Let us call to mind our experience with the polio vaccine. I write not to minimize COVID, but to awaken my people. The great American inventor Thomas Edison said, "The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will instruct his patients in the care and of the human frame, in diet and the cause and prevention of disease." COVID-19 has now brought the doctor of the future to the forefront. Treating coronavirus requires a new class of doctors. Doctors who will prescribe no synthetic medication. I call upon all health advocates, educators, and solutions trained in wellness to instruct the general public in the care of the human frame through herbal remedies, massage, hydrotherapy, fermentations, poultices, hot and cold compresses, and plant-based nutrition, for these are the true remedies. Herbal supplements, especially high doses of vitamin C and zinc, will go a long way in maintaining a healthy immune system, along with deep breathing in fresh air, exercise, lots of pure water, sunshine, practicing temperance in all things, plenty of rest, and trust in divine power, which must be cultivated in this hour of need. Are there any negative side effects to a prescribed program of education in taking care of the human frame during this time of national crisis? I foresee a healthy and wealthy nation making a strong comeback. Lucians, wake up, stand up. Your health is your wealth. Can we take a page from Cuban history? Amidst the economic embargo and sabotage, when petrochemicals were withheld, they learned to master the art of organic farming and care of the human frame, and today emerge as leaders in healthcare. If we continue to lock down and shut down our people, then Lucia will soon cease to be the Helen of the West. Her name will change, and likewise her peculiar identity. I write not to diminish Corona, but to talk to my people. The economic cost to a national shutdown will be astronomical. As idleness is the devil's workshop, crimes of all sorts may increase. For instance, rape, murder, domestic violence, substance abuse, not to mention depression, suicide, and assaults of all kinds. I wouldn't be surprised if even divorce rates go up, for a hungry man is usually an angry man. Men as providers lose their sense of balance and direction when they are helpless in being able to provide for their families. A man was not made to sit and wait to see what will happen. He was made with that go-getter spirit to take his bow and arrow and go to the forest, kill a wild goat and bring it home to his family to eat. Keeping him locked up at home makes him accept defeat, and he loses the spirit of stick-to-itiveness and fight. He eventually becomes more feminine than masculine over time, for he now lives in fear and uncertainty and controlled by every wind of circumstance. This cripples his manhood and his sense of well-being when he loses control. I write not to disrespect Corona, but to call my people. Whereas government must draw a balance between humanitarian and economic concerns, but the balance must also be drawn between freedom and security. To compromise freedom for security is to lose both. I don't think government, which is ordained by God, is endowed with unlimited powers to deny its citizens their unalienable rights to the freedom of movement and assembly, even in a time of national crisis or pandemic. As hard as it may seem, this could have serious repercussions with spiritual implications, especially when we are dealing with the unknown. How long will the pandemic last? When will things get back to normal? Could 7 days lead to 7 months? Must sovereign beings and free moral agents just sit back and wait to see what happens and just surrender their birthrights to be controlled by secular government? God forbid. Believers are under divine obligation to occupy till he comes, to render unto Caesar the things which belong to Caesar, and to God that which belongs to God, like our time, our talents, spiritual gifts, tithes, which are to be used in furtherance of his kingdom. Believers are under divine commission to preach, teach, baptize, anoint, and lay hands on the sick, and this cannot be done when shut up at home. Believers are admonished in the Holy Scriptures not to forsake the assembling of themselves together. They are taught to seek and they shall find, not to sit still and expect things to happen. This is a solemn, sacred belief and a bona fide faith which history has taught us. Men will give their lives for it. This is not preference. This is deeply ingrained sacred conviction. A nationwide shutdown will soon lead to vigilante justice. I write not to crucify COVID-19, for she will soon be swallowed up in victory, but to warn my people. Is the everlasting gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news of salvation, a non-essential service? Is Caesar greater than Christ? Where is our allegiance? Who can help us through this crisis? I have no problem with temporary curfew and quarantine, which have their place, but with a violation of individual human rights and freedoms. Be the cost what it may, government has no jurisdiction in this realm. As fallen as his nature is, give man an inch, he will soon take a yard. Let's not go there, for this is a slippery path. Combating COVID-19 must be a joint and harmonious effort of all sectors of the economy working in concert, and this includes every citizen of this land of majestic pitons and sulfur springs. The cost of freedom is eternal vigilance. It was reclaimed at a great price, and we dare not trifle with it. The preaching of the gospel demands personal contact. The darker the night, the brighter the light of the gospel of God's free gift of salvation should shine upon this land of our birth. Which is greater, a cure for corona or the gift of eternal life? The Holy Writ tells us, Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. All means all, including a cure for corona. Set my people free that they may learn to help themselves. Let's put first things first in order of priority. We will never achieve this lofty goal of total independence if our people are locked down and shut down. I write not to marshal forces against corona, for she is big and powerful, but to appeal to my people and remind all my fellow St. Lucians that there is abundant life beyond corona. But none of us can truly serve our country if we are not free. This is a disservice to our beloved country and its people. To my fellow St. Lucians, with love, blessed love, Dr. John Leos.